Alright, hello everybody, welcome to another episode of this little question time series. This week we've got a new location as well as a new haircut, so hopefully this new location downstairs will be a little bit less echoey. I know a few people complained about the audio. Let's get on straight into some questions. Right, this first question is from Jordan and he asks, how do you balance between home life and freelancing? To be honest, I don't really find it too difficult. I know a few people can't resist the temptation to avoid working altogether and to skive off all day. But I tend to make sure I work set hours, just the usual 9 till 5ish, and just avoid skiving off and playing Modern Warfare all day. I mean, saying that, I do enjoy the freelance lifestyle and enjoy taking mornings and afternoons off and just nip into the gym whenever I want, going and doing something else. When Laura's got a few lessons free, she's a driving instructor, so she often has time free in the day. So we often go out for lunch and just head off for an afternoon with the dog or something. But I think one of the most important things is just to be in control of your time. Make sure your time management's good. If you take a few hours off in the day, then to make sure you make those hours up either in the evening or another day or something. If you've got deadlines to meet, so yeah, I mean it's quite easy for me, but it's just a case of enjoying your time when you want to, but also making sure you make that time back up so you don't fall behind in your work. Because on the other hand, as well as skiving off and not doing any work, there's the opposite scenario where you end up working all day, having no definite line between work and home life. It can drive you crazy being stuck in the same house and the same building for all day and all night. But I mean, that's one of the reasons we adopted Jake the dog, is because I'd end up spending like 5 days straight without even going outside. So just commuting from the bedroom downstairs, have some breakfast, and then the commute upstairs to the office, and then at the end of the day I'd just come down for some evening dinner, and then it'd be bed, and then same again, commute to the office next day. So getting the dog, at least it gets me out of the house in the morning, and I have to take breaks to let him out in the garden and to take him for walks in the evening. So it's that sort of thing's good for making sure you keep your home life and your work life totally separate. Okay, next up, Roland asks, what tools do you use to manage your Twitter, RSS and your blogs? All my blogs, all 3 of them, are powered by WordPress. I use TweetDeck for my Twitter antics. I especially like the groups in TweetDeck. It's quite useful to separate people into different categories, and it's also good on the iPhone as well, so you can transfer your same groups and things in all your settings over through to your iPhone. If you've got an iPad, which I haven't, but you can sync everything between desktop and mobile devices. And for RSS, I use Google Reader. Okay, Gavin asks, who are some of your favourite bands? I've got a selection. I've got my music taste kind of sits between the pop rock and metal spectrum. There's a few bands that tend to appear time and time again in my playlists, and they are, starting from the pop rock sort of end, Paramore. I've been quite a fan of theirs since their early album. Been to see them a few times, and also going in November. They're coming to Sheffield, so this will be the 4th, I think. It was funny because the first time I saw them in a really small venue, and now it's in the big arena. So that'll be interesting to see how they've grown. Next up, moving on, is Story of the Year. I think I originally discovered them through Last.fm, but John O'Nolan also recommended them a while back when we were exchanging some bands that we both liked. Then moving on to a little bit more of a post-hardcore sort of genre, Funeral for a Friend. Recently bought their latest little album. It's not available in stores, like a limited edition thing. The Young and Defenceless, I think it's called. And that's got a few good songs on it. And finally, moving into more of the metal end of the spectrum, I've recently started listening to Bullet for My Valentine, which is going into a bit more of the harder stuff, which I'm slowly moving into. So quite enjoying that. I mean, that's also been an influence on some of the recent posts on on my blog. Some of the tutorials are a bit a bit hardcore with the skulls and the black letter text, so that might be where the influence came from for those. Okay, and the final question this week is from Dave, and he asks, how do you decide what to write blog posts about? It's just what inspires me at the time. I mean, I always try to keep my blogs as like a playground for myself to to play around and to experiment with. So anything that sparks my interest, I'll try and create some sort of tutorial or article based on it. A few examples. I mean, obviously one of the latest ones was the Expendables movie poster. With the skull and all the weapons, flaring out around it, forming like a winged skull design. That was more or less a straight copy. I just saw the poster and decided to give it a go, try recreating it myself. There was, like I mentioned, about the more metal, the metal inspired music sort of genre thing. I've ported that into the black letter text effect, which was a recent tutorial, and also the latest tutorial from this week was like the ornate baroque swirly skull design emblem sort of thing. I think that was one of the main inspirations for that one. Was I've always been a fan of Nick Ainley's work, and I remember seeing the making of Mystic on PSD Toots a while back. It must have been a couple of years or so, and I've always thought that was really good, and I've seen more and more ornate stuff, and I just decided to finally give it a go myself and create something along those lines. It's just what inspires me at the time. And there's also client jobs as well. They often provide ideas. For instance, a post on line 25 was how to customise a Facebook fan page, and the idea for that was from a client website job where I needed to add a Facebook fan page to a site, and obviously researched it, found out how to do it, so then I created a blog post on the topic. Okay, news for this week. First of all, a little bit of personal news. I'm going to be in Newcastle at the end of September to be a judge for an event called The Battle. It's part of the Think and a Drink event from Codeworks. It's where a bunch of 8 or so designers go head to head, designing, like drawing and sketching and designing based on a particular theme. They have 20 minutes to do so, and then myself and a couple of other judges will be critiquing the work, and the winner will receive a brand new graphics tablet, so that'll be good fun to meet some new people. So if anyone's from around the area and you've got a ticket to go, let me know, and it'd be good to arrange to catch you on the night, so it should be good fun. And of course I've got some trusty tutorial links. First of all is one from Design Instruct. It's a tutorial on how to create complex style illustrations with with the patterns, and the best way I can describe it is the playing cards, the ornate designs in the background. It shows you some good techniques on how to create those in vector format in Illustrator, so check that one out. And finally this week is a tutorial from WeGraphics titled How to Create a Melancholy Photo Manipulation. It's got a really cool a model style dark themed sort of design. It shows you the step-by-step process on how it's made, so I think the best way to get an idea of what I'm talking about is actually go and check it out. So click the link down below and check it out. Right, so that's all for this week. If you're new to this thing, it's a new little question time video series I'm doing where I basically answer questions that anyone wants to put forward. It can be design related, personal stuff, anything about topics on my blog, client work, even about hobbies, or about Jake the dog. So if there's anything you want to know and anything I can ramble on about, then post a question below, and I'll pick one out for the next video. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully the audio and everything will be a lot better in this one. And he has asked, oh God's sake, how